Hello everybody, Jack Ravi here. I have just received something that I'm very excited to show you, and I thought I would come in and do a little unboxing and have a play with this art Foamies, which are something that I designed, and they were produced by the company called Art Foamies. And I'm going to talk you through more about it, but I just wanted to show you the opening of this box. So before I open the box, I just want to briefly explain how this collaboration came about. So as a Fodder School 4 teacher, I was invited by Wendy from Fodder School to collaborate with Art Foamies and Fodder School to design my own art Foamies, which are inside this box. So the idea was that I could bring a little piece of my own ideas and designs and a part of my creativity into a collaboration. So I decided that I was going to design some sigils inspired by some artist affirmations that I had created myself, and the collaboration happened with Fodder School and Art Foamies, and we had the back and forth and discussed how we could make this possible, and KP from Art Foamies was able to create this stamps, which are essentially made of foam, and that's the difference between any sort of designer stamp and an art foamy, is that the first ones are made of rubber, whereas the art foamies are made of foam. So, like I mentioned, the idea comes from my artist affirmations. This is a deck of cards that I have designed myself, and it contains affirmations that I created to inspire mixed media artists predominantly. So I picked some of my favorite affirmations from this deck, and I created a sigil, which is essentially a symbol that represents that phrase, that sentence. And then I also created a stamp with the actual affirmation. So I'm going to open and see what's in here. We have 2 bags here. Very exciting. So this is an example of, this is a sigil, and this is the explanation of that sigil. The idea is that sigils are beautiful symbols. They can look ancient, they can look tribal or witchy or mysterious. They have been used since the beginning of time to communicate in a way that was sort of indirect. And so the symbol, the sigil itself, means something, but it can also be used as an abstracted kind of graphic element, and it can also be combined with the actual explanation of the affirmation. So it can be used in an abstract way or in a more literal way. I want to open the other ones as well. Oh, these look absolutely gorgeous, and it is really nice to see them in real life. This is something that I designed myself, and I hand cut them from paper so that they would keep that sort of homemade quality to them, so that they look like they've not been machine made, but they have been hand cut. And Art Foamies that produced the actual stamps really honored that idea of that imperfect edges that I wanted to be part of the designs, and so I love them. I'm very excited to try them. So I'm going to now take a few scraps of paper and fabric and have a play. So the first sigil I'm going to try is this one. So this one comes from this card, From Chaos Emerges Harmony, and I'm going to test it using some black non-toxic acid-free ink pad I've got a couple of scraps of paper. This one is avocado dyed watercolor paper, and this is some vintage paper that I dyed with some tea, rust and hibiscus flower. And I'm just going to use them to try my stamps. Oh wow, absolutely gorgeous. It keeps that raw edge that I really liked and I wanted it to be featured. It stamps very easily and just like, it's very soft. This is gorgeous. I'm going to now try the explanation of that symbol, which is basically the starting affirmation. Ah, this is so beautiful. My bad for smearing that F. I have just re-inked this ink pad, so it's still a little bit wet. But I actually really love the imperfection that comes with that F. You can still read it and your brain fills in the gap anyway, and it prints actually really well. The next sigil I'm going to try is this one. This comes from the affirmation, the act of making is an act of generosity. Ah, this is very gorgeous. I love how bold this one is compared to the other one. It's a little bit bolder. That's just the way that I designed it. And it looks really good actually in the middle of a circle. Yeah, looks like printed. Loving this, loving this. This is a piano roll paper, so it's quite thin. I actually likes that it comes through. So that if this was a page in a book, you would be drawn to the back by the writing. The next sigil comes from this card, My Hands Are Magic. And I'm going to test this on fabric. So this is silk, and it's been dyed in rust and tea and various plants, and I want to try and see what a stamp looks like on fabric. So I'm going to try and stretch the fabric. Let's see if we can get a ghost print upside down as well. I tend to like ghost prints, meaning, you know, you use your stamp on a scrap of paper and then you actually stamp on where you want it. It's just a little more faded, which is a look that I really enjoy. So this look absolutely great together, and I'm going to stamp my affirmation next to them. Yes! The next one is from this card, My Art is My Legacy. And I love how this is a round one, and I'm going to print it right in the middle of that circle. So again, on a piano roll. Ah, yes. There's a playfulness about this one I find, which I really like. Oh yeah. Fabulous. The next sigil comes from this card. In the dance of creation, I am free. And I'm going to try a different color. This is some metallic rose gold, just for a change, and see what that looks like. It's a little bit more faded, but it's still really lovely. I'm going to do the affirmation in black. Oh, so good. And finally, the last stamp from this card, which is probably my favorite affirmation, I forage beauty. And I'm going to stamp on this antique postcard. Beautiful. I'm going to finish the postcard with the affirmation. Wow, this is really beautiful. I am so thrilled with the quality of this stamps. I want to thank Wendy for inviting me to collaborate on this design, and I want to thank KP for producing this beautiful stamps based on my design. If you are interested in buying these sets, they are available. I'll put the link below. But once again, thank you for inviting me. I hope you enjoy having a go at them, and if you do, please tag me. I'd love to see how you use the stamps. And thank you again, and yes, I love art foamies.